Welcome back. The big story on this big budget day. Government sources now confirming to India today, budget likely to be postponed to Thursday. House to meet for arbitrary references after the passing away of senior MP E. Ahmed from Kerala. House set to be adjourned till tomorrow. Sources saying though the government will take a final official call only after a meeting around 10 p.m. with the Lok Sabha Speaker. The government will speak to all political parties before making any announcement. A one-sided view. One view is that adjourn the House after presenting the budget, but that depends on a consensus. The Congress in particular is insisting on an adjournment and the budget to be delayed. The government wants adjournment after the presentation of the budget. Lots of uncertainty then over the presentation of the budget. Rajiv Dubey of Business Today, our sister magazine, joining me. Rajiv, you were looking in Googling to find out whether there had been any precedent, but your sense, what is the dilemma at the moment? A 24-hour delay, is it acceptable to the finance community? Will it be accepted in a way, or do you believe that is a dangerous precedent? Have you found any precedent?
So we found precedents of private members' bills be getting postponed by a day or by a couple of days, but we haven't yet found a precedence of such a significant event being postponed by a day because of the death of an unfortunate death of an MP in Parliament. So as far as the finance community is concerned, it's really not too much of a setback, but yes, it does get a lot of organizations, including organizations which are dependent on budget, organizations which are into private equity, into which will be affected. But I don't think it's going to create too much of a havoc in the finance community as such.
Let's settle this. Sunil Alagh joining me, someone who's close to the ruling party, if I may say so, but someone who's been a CEO of several companies and has very strong views on most issues. Sunil, your view you were expressing in the break is, why are you postponing the budget? You believe there's no need to postpone the budget.
See, there are two. One is a logical decision, the other is an emotional one.
Yes.
Emotionally, of course, you should postpone, but logically, I would present the budget and then postpone the parliament. No discussions today. 10, 11 o'clock, the budget, 11 to 1, present the budget, over and out, and then have all the discussions.
What about arbitrary references?
No, of course, everybody.
So you're saying start with the arbitrary references, have the budget speech and adjourn the House.
Adjourn the House.
In any case, the House gets adjourned immediately after the budget. The question is, what about precedent? The precedent is a sitting MP has passed away in Delhi, House is adjourned normally. Why should that precedent be broken simply because it is budget day?
No, it is creating a precedence today because the swearing in of the Prime Minister, the budget, these are critical national issues. So the question will obviously be debated. Are you going to emotionally be governed, or are you going to be logically? Nowhere in the world, as I know of, maybe somebody will correct me, has the budget been postponed, an important thing because a parliamentarian has died. But emotionally, I'm sure the opposition will jump in and say,
interesting point you're making. Keep emotions out of this. Simply you see this is a big national day and focus on that. Prasenjit Bose, an activist with the left, is the best left economist is how I'm describing you. You've been a political activist. From a political perspective, can politicians abandon the precedent saying this is a big national day, it's the budget day, budget must take precedence over the passing away of an MP?
Well, given the fact that this is for the first time that the budget will be presented, was supposed to be presented on the 1st of February, I think it's about creating a precedence, as Mr. Alagh just pointed out.
Yes.
But I think it will be very difficult to ignore the fact that the MP concerned is also a former minister. There are protocol issues involved, and I don't think that it will be proper on the part of the government to go ahead with the presentation of the budget.
So you're looking at propriety. You believe it's a matter of propriety,
and
not just of
precedent. I would slightly disagree with what Mr. Alagh said, that the budget presentation is not a formal exercise. We have often seen, even during the budget presentation, a lot of political uproar takes place. A political debate breaks out even in the course of the budget presentation. It has happened several times, and one should not straitjacket the budget exercise as a kind of technocratic exercise. It is also a political exercise.
Prasenjit Bose is saying propriety demands. The body of Mr. E. Ahmed is at his residence. The sitting MP, a colleague of the MPs, and you're carrying on parliament proceedings as if it's life as normal.
See, once you get into an emotional debate, then I'm sorry, anything that I will say, oh, you don't care about somebody dying, I do. But the point remains, either if there's a sitting MP who's died, don't do it in the morning. ask the entire parliament to go and pay their respects to Mr. Ahmed and the family first and do the budget at 2 p.m. But postponing the budget by a day will be creating a precedence which is going against the logic part.
But this government had
Emotionally,
already
I agree with you,
preponed the
Prasanji.
budget.
Yeah, go ahead,
We
Shweta,
had
yes.
already preponed the budget to February 1st. We had already broken a precedent of presenting the budget on February 28th. Also, traditionally, whenever a sitting MP has passed away, the House has been adjourned, no matter what. So, and propriety and politics is more about emotions, and budget is a very political, it's not so as economic
I will
as
debate with
it
you.
is, as much
Earlier,
as it is a political
before we
event.
started presenting it at 11 a.m., we used to present it at 5 p.m.
That's right, you're
So
right.
then have the whole day off, present it at 5 p.m. There are so many ways of going around.
Hold
what
on.
you're
Here we
saying.
have a former chief economic advisor. I don't know if you were in the days when the budget was presented at 5 p.m.
Yeah,
that was also based, if I'm right, on the British system.
Correct,
That
it
because
was.
you kept it at 5 p.m. because that was the tradition.
The stock market would open.
That's right, because the stock market would open also at that time in Britain also, and it was kept keeping that in mind. Mr. Lahiri, given the fact that we brought it now from 5 p.m. to 11 a.m., is today the day also to break the other precedent that on a big national day, as Mr. Alag is putting it, whether it's the swearing in of the Prime Minister or the budget day, on that day you have to go ahead with the exercise. We feel sorry for
Yes.
the death of Mr. Ahmed, but the budget must take precedence today.
Rajdeep, one can't but agree that if you have a timeline, you should stick with it. But we must make a difference between a military operation. If we are doing a military operation and something is going to happen at 11 o'clock, it has to happen at 11 o'clock because lives are involved.
Yes.
Now, this is the budget. See, the budget is presented in February so that when the financial year starts on April 1st, and it has been preponed to February 1st so that the budget can be passed before the financial year starts. Now, the question is, there's a lot of inconvenience, including for you and me.
I will have to get up 2 days in a row at 7 a.m. But that's okay. That's, I can live with that. I'm just wondering how whether this is to be seen as a matter of national urgency and importance, the budget can 24 hours, and that's I think where the final decision will last. Is this a matter of urgency and an emergency? If it was an emergency, then you would have to go ahead with it.
Correct.
I'm not sure whether the budget being postponed by a day
It's not an
it should be
emergency.
treated as some kind of an emergency.
It is not an
What's the
emergency.
government got to lose if they postpone
Absolutely.
the budget by a day?
I
But
think you put it well.
they have a lot to lose if they present the budget today.
You know,
In terms of
let me be
optics.
very honest, and I'm going to today be politically incorrect, Mr. Lahiri, when I say this. A senior minister told me, how can we risk the backlash that we may get from Kerala when a senior MP has passed away and we suddenly say, no, the budget matters more than precedence. There will be a political backlash. I'm not using the word emotion. There are political realities.
Absolutely.
There are political realities today that the government will have to contend with. Plus, as Shweta rightly says, this will not be seen as an emergency. It will also be seen as part of propriety that you have to follow.
Yeah.
Do you believe these are the kind of concerns, the kind of issues that the government will have to debate today?
See, every government has to be politically sensitive. So
Yes.
I'm sure even this government will take into account what will be the sort of backlash if they do not postpone. But coming back to the pure rationality of it,
Yes.
if anyone says, let's not be emotional, let's be absolutely matter of fact,
Yes.
we have a plan, we have a time schedule, let's stick with it, rain or shine. I will say, salute you, because you are being very efficient and rational. But life is not all about rationality, and we know politics is a very complex game. So I think the ultimate decision will be taken at a political level.
We are just getting news that the Congress is holding a meeting at 9:30 a.m. to finally decide its stand on this, because clearly now this has become Congress versus BJP also. The Congress keen to score a political point maybe. Remember, Mr. E. Ahmed was a minister in the UPA government, is a long-serving MP, possibly the oldest MP of the Muslim League from Kerala, and someone who is a Muslim MP of great regard, has been a MOS External Affairs, has served the government with distinction, as well as been an MP for Kerala for years. So Brajesh Pandey, 9:30 a.m. now we are being told the Congress party will hold a meeting to decide its stand on budget. But all indications at the moment, government under pressure now to postpone the budget. Clearly the finance minister has not come out of his room as earlier scheduled out of North Block. By now he would be out, right, Shweta?
Yeah,
8:45? He should have been out by now.
Yes.
So clearly the pressure is building, Brajesh, on the government to postpone the budget, if not by a day, then certainly by a few hours.
Oh, absolutely. And, as one of the guests was saying it, it is basically all about politics rather than the financial aspect of the budget, because the government is kind of under pressure since last night, when several senior Congress leaders went to Ram Manohar Lohia, and there were allegations by the family that, that they were not being allowed to meet E. Ahmed, or, that his death declaration has been done by a few hours late because, the government didn't wanted it to affect the budget. So the government is already under a lot of pressure. And as we speak, there's a lot of consultation which is going on between various components of finance ministry as well as the speaker's office, and the government is actually deliberating whether they should take the final call of postponing it by a day or by a few hours. I guess in another half an hour, 45 minutes, we'll be in a much clearer position than we are now. But the government is indeed under a lot of political pressure because, they know the political ramification of it, that if they go ahead and do it, then it will give the opposition a handle to paint this government as an extremely insensitive one, because the financial realities and various other facts that that the whole nation was set for the budget to be presented today and carry on the life forward. But this may have a political ramification. Remember, there are 5 states which are going to poll, and polling will start in another 3-4 days. So the government is also
Brajesh, I want to hold you. RP Singh, BJP, one of the BJP spokesperson joining me. Mr. Singh, your government now under pressure now to postpone the budget. The Congress particularly adamant, and I'm told most opposition parties are saying it would be insensitive to hold the budget when a senior MP has just passed away.
Let the speaker take the call on this. I'm hopeful the speaker will take a right call on this.
But is there would you concede at the moment there is pressure on your government to call off the budget by a day?
I really doubt that, because the budget has a day for announcements, and postponing it, budget has a ramification also, and that's why it's a speaker's call, and between the parliamentary minister and the speaker, let them take a call on this.
Let me bring in Sunil Alag. There is this whole thing of tradition in India. Tradition does matter. There is the issue of propriety. You have said set aside tradition, set aside propriety, and focus on the urgency of the matter. What is so urgent about the budget to be passed on the 1st of February?
Propriety is something which is political. There is no tradition in India that you postpone a budget if someone dies. So please, this will be the first time where you're creating a precedent.
That's because this is the first time, Mr. Alang, that a sitting MP has passed away on the budget day.
Can I just finish?
Yes.
I'm just saying, remember, the budget is not just being presented to India, it is being presented to the world. What are we communicating to the whole world, that if nowhere in the United States, in UK or anywhere, they would have said, we would adjourn for maybe 1 or 2 hours, present the budget, wear a black band. Today, if a cricketer dies, would the T20 be, where are you extending? Would you postpone the T20 match today? You wouldn't. You would say, all right, we love the cricketer nobody should die, but whoever it is, learn.
Because there is no precedent there.
No,
there is, in Parliament, propriety and tradition does matter. You can't junk every propriety and tradition.
Please, I'm not junking it. I am with you that if a parliamentarian dies on a normal day in Parliament, you must postpone it. I'm agreeing with that. What we are discussing is, should a budget day, if today was the Prime Minister's swearing in, if the Parliament was to, would you have postponed it? The questions have to be asked. I'm just asking the questions. Everybody is getting emotional. Everybody is saying what is going to happen. I'm asking alternate questions. If the Prime Minister and the new government was being sworn in and today would you have postponed the Parliament?
I'm asking this question. I'll respond to that, Prasanji. Respond to the specific point. If the Prime Minister was being sworn in today, would you postpone the swearing in?
See, first of all, I don't think it's a proper analogy.
Why?
All right.
Why?
It's not, because you see, I would like to recollect what Dr. Lahiri said, that the budget cannot be compared to a military operation.
It's not a military operation.
Exactly.
About the Prime Minister swearing in.
Why should you? Why? These are all different things. The Prime Minister swearing in, I don't know. I mean, it depends. The Prime Minister swearing in, if there's a senior politician who dies, the Prime Minister swearing in can also get postponed.
Of course it
it
also
depends on
can.
the
Oh, so yeah,
political,
okay.
political outlook of
The political outlook is important.
No,
Just a minute.
what?
Majid Memon of the NCP is joining me, senior MP of theirs in the Rajya Sabha. Mr. Memon, does the NCP want the budget to go ahead at 11 a.m. or do you believe it should be postponed as the Congress is suggesting because of the passing away of the senior Muslim MP E. Ahmed? Should it be postponed just by a couple of hours?
Now, Rajdeep, please remember that, you see, it's the question of protocol, it is the question of a age-old tradition that whenever a sitting MP passes away, it is indeed a serious blow to the House, and the House does not function on that day. Now, if the budget is presented 24 hours later, heavens are not going to fall. You see, what is that you will lose today? Therefore, in that context, I would say that budget presented this morning at 11 or tomorrow morning at 11, I can understand if it was Friday and then we had to wait for 72 hours. You are just doing it 11 o'clock tomorrow morning so that you follow that age-old tradition and there would be no grievance from...
And am I to understand,
Mr. Party chief. He is a party chief from Kerala,
yes,
and he has been a senior member of parliament and is an ex-minister. You know, why are you breaching the protocol? You see, unless there is such urgency that India would suffer immensely if budget is not presented at 11 hours on 1st February. Or is it because the government has been stubborn that even in spite of various appeals and requests made during the past 2 weeks or more than that, for deferring the presentation of budget for other reasons, and particularly the elections in Uttar Pradesh and Punjab. The government said nothing doing, heavens would fall, we are going to present it. Is it a part of that stubbornness?
No, it may not be part of that stubbornness. I think that would be unfair, but am I to understand that this is therefore your official position? The official position of the Nationalist Congress Party is postpone the budget by 24 hours. Am I correct?
No, I would not say this is an official position because this is Mr. Sharad Pawar who would take a call. I am giving my personal view and
Right.
as a colleague, member of parliament from Rajya Sabha.
Okay, you're giving your personal view, but clearly that personal view appears to be now gathering an echo across Parliament. The sense I'm getting, a senior MP, I won't give his name, has told me, Rajdeep, we have taken that decision from the NCP. Our party will oppose the budget being done today. You cannot change. And in fact, they've been watching us, Sunil, because they have said, Mr. Alag must realize you are wrong. House has to adjourn all business when an MP dies. Doesn't matter whether it's the budget or not.
Where?
This
Where
is what-
this? Show a precedence.
This is the precedent that has existed as of today. That's all that they are saying.
I'm agreeing with that if a parliamentarian dies, you must postpone parliament. But I want to know, when has it in the world been postponed on budget day or the signing or the swearing in of a prime minister? All I'm saying is you can postpone it by
No,
a
but
few
what-
hours.
what is-
One second. Have it at 5 o'clock.
but
There are
Mr.
so many-
Alag-
So you're
Mr.
saying have it
Alag,
at 5
what
o'clock
is the
now?
other, but what you are saying, can you cite a precedence of that happening? Can you cite a precedence where a senior MP or any member
I
of
must
parliament
correct you
has
also,
died?
not just senior MP, he's the leader of his party.
He's
the leader
so the
of his
leader of the
party,
party
he's a
in
former
the House. So
minister.
it's not just another
He
MP.
served the
Exactly.
country.
All right.
Okay, let's leave it there. Shweta, much to discuss. It's very interesting. We were going to do today's discussion on fiscal deficit and all the other challenges facing on demonetization. But here we have another controversy, and this is something we've been playing right here on India Today long before any channel even got wind of it, that the budget would be postponed. And channels which were saying the budget will go ahead are now also having to shift their stand. It's very clear now. The likelihood is getting stronger by the minute that the budget will be postponed.